Hello everyone, welcome back to another video lesson. Today we will discuss about the types of selections, and we will cover worksheet number 5 from page 66 up to 88. It's grade 9. So in here we will work about the selection tools. How many selection tools do we have in our Photoshop, and what's the contrast of each tool? First, let's listen that why we use selection tools. Making changes to an area within an image in Photoshop is in a two-step process. It means if you want to change a location in a photo, so you have two steps. First step, you first select the part of an image that you want to change with selection tools. Then you use another tool like filtering or another feature to make changes, such as moving the selected pixels to another location or applying a filter to the selected area. Let's practically do this. In here we have rectangular marquee tool, the shortcut is M. We have another elliptical marquee tool, also the shortcut is M because M is for marquee tools. We have single row and also single column marquee tools. We use these tools less, but we use these tools too much. Well, open Adobe Photoshop. In this picture, you can see I can select different objects in a photo. So let's open another photo with high quality, or this photo, it doesn't matter. You can do it. For example, come and right click on polygonal selection tool. In here we have lasso tool, polygonal selection tool, and magnetic lasso tool. And upper these selection tools, when you right click it, we have rectangular marquee tool, elliptical marquee tool, single row, and single column. Another selection tools that we have in here, it's about collecting quick selection tool and magic wand tool. So the first selection tool in here is about the rectangular marquee tool. Select the rectangular marquee tool. You can select an area like a rectangular. So these options are very important for our selection tools. You can see these options in every tools that you can see in here. So the first option is about the new selection. When you click on the new selection, it means you don't want this selection and you want to select some other parts, and this selection deselected. New selection we have in here. If you want to increase the size of selection or select some other parts at the same time, so you can add to selection. Choose add to selection. It means you add selections. For example, 3, 2, 4, and also 5 parts of the image. If you want to decrease the selections or minus the selections, you can choose the subtract selection. Just click on subtract selection and subtract the selected parts. For example, you don't want these selections. If you want to clear all, select all. That's done. It means you clear all the selection. Another selection we can select from selected part. For example, from selection we made a selection. intersect with selection. This is the command. For example, if you select this from this part, just you can choose this small part. For example, object this object was selected, but other parts doesn't. If you want to select this section, you can select just this part. So from selection, it means you can make a selection. Another important features that a selection has that we use in our images, for example, carry our image in another image, that's about the feeder. For example, in here, the standard range for feeder is 0. Pretend that you select this image. Let's I select with the magic wand tool. For example, I select the white one that select all the whites. Then I will use another option, Control Shift I, and it means Control Shift I. I find the shortcut for it. Yeah, in here it's inverse selection. Control Shift I. When I press Control Shift I, I mean I selected this image. Control C, you copy the image. From here, I want to open another image that you see what will happen when we select with feeder or when we select without the feeder. I think I have some photos in here. Yes, photos. For example, yeah, this photo is better. Open the photos. When I press Control V, you can see when I zoom the image, this part is clear that it was cutted and carried to this photo. The edges clearly shows or it is sharp. It shows that it's sharp and this image was carried out from another photo. So you can do a trick. I mean the feeder trick. Select the photo. When you select the photo by different options, for example, I'll use this selection. It has 3 pixel feeder. Control D, deselect it first. For example, choose this selection, select this photo. I select it very quickly and not clearly, but when you want it, you should select it carefully. Well, I select this object, press Ctrl C, then come to another photo, press Ctrl V. You can see the feathers. It is soft, it's not sharp. I change the direction. You see the surrounding is soft. It is in soft form. It's not in sharp form. If you want to carry your image, you can do this option. Well, let's delete these objects. You have learned about the rectangular selection. These options are the same. For example, you choose the elliptical, just it's just like a circle. It's elliptical. It has new selection, add to selection, minus from selection, intersect from selection, and it has also the feeder. Another thing that we can do, it's you press Alt from your keyboard. When you press Alt from your keyboard, you can see the selection in here. You can select, or let's select the new one. For example, press Ctrl D. If I press this, you can see I can select it in a very good way. When I press Alt from my keyboard, you can see from both sides. from both sides it is increasing the size from both sides. If I increase it like a circle, it's a good circle that I have in here. But if I try it like this, I mean maybe it's like a egg and it's elliptical, it's not as like a circle. So press Alt, and if you want to change the direction, just click on the arrow keys from your keyboard on your left on up. For example, you want to change the direction of the selection. On upper part you want to select the change the direction selection, on down, and also on right. This is the tool that we can do. Also we can transform. I think it is in selection, transform selection. This is the option that when you choose the transform selection, you want to bring the selection in here. Press enter. When you press enter, the selection now comes here. I mean you can transfer the selection parts. Well, let's discuss about the free hand selection tool, age based selection tool, color based selection tool, and it will be finished. So what's free selection tool? This lasso tool traces a free hand selection around an area. It means you're completely feel free. You are completely feel free. I mean you don't use the like put the points for selecting areas. You don't need the colors, just freely. But the polygonal lasso tool, vice versa, sets anchor. It means the points. It sets anchor points and straight line segments around an area. The magnetic lasso tool, I mean the magnetic that we have seen, also a practical work for you. Magnetic lasso tool works something like a combination of the other two lasso tool. I mean also the freehand and polygonal. You combine this tool, they will create the magnetic lasso tool. Let's practically work it in the image. For example, when I select, right click in here, select lasso tool. Lasso tool is free. For example, you move your cursor in everywhere which you want. It is very freely. You are very free. So when you let the cursor, the selection is made. You want to create new selection in here, for example like this. It's free. But polygonal, that most of the photographer use the polygonal because it's very accurate, and also the anchor points are very clear. For example, you zoom the photo, you want to select this umbrella, assign the points, your selections would be so nice and also very clear. For example, like this. Maybe you want to change the color, maybe you want to remove this image, maybe you want to add other filtering options. So you can do by polygonal. When you made a mistake, just press escape backspace from your keyboard. Select the photo, for example, Ctrl Shift N. I will create another layer. Maybe I use a paint bucket or paintbrush. Maybe I will create the paintings. Where is my paint brush? I'll select the brush. You can paint it. Ctrl D, deselect it. This is a mode that you can see. It shows like a darken mode, or it shows like a screen mode. You can see it's screen mode. There are left and more like OLA mode. Now I think it's more beautiful than before. You can, yeah, watch the differences. When I apply the effect, it shows a little bit clearly. So this is the options that we can do. I mean polygonal and lasso tool. Another tools that we have, it's about the magnetic lasso tool. Magnetically, it means you can feel free, and also like polygonal. Click on the magnetic, it's like magnetic. Just click on one place, and when you move your cursor, the magnetically will select. Also, you can press from your keyboard. I mean, you select like click, or you don't click, and when there is an edge, when there is a difference colors between the pixels, I will select the differences like this. Okay, when it's finished, the umbrella is selected. It's our magnetic selection tool. So quick selection tool, the quick selection tool quickly paints a selection by automatically finding and following defined edges in an image. For example, the edges between this object and this object, between this object and this object. There is lots of difference between the edges. So when I go to the plate, Control D, for example, in here you can find what? Quick selection tool. I want to select this image. You can see it find the edges like this. I mean, you want to select this? Yeah, I want to select the object. The object is selected very quickly because it's quick selection tool. Another selection tool that we use, it's about the magic wand tool. Magic wand tool, most of the photographer uses magic wand tool because it's very easy selection tool, and also it's very fast selection tool. And color based selection, the magic wand tool select parts of an image, be very careful, parts of an image based on the similarity. I mean, it just selects same color, not different colors, same colors. Adjacent pixels, it is useful for selecting odd shapes areas that share a specific range of colors. As in the first I have done, for example, I wanted to select this object. I say, oh, it's very difficult to select all of it. So let's do a technique. It means select the white. When I select the white area, the white color, then I change the selection. It means I inverted the selection. I invert. When I went to the selection, I mean I selected this plate with these objects very easily. When I press Ctrl C and I change it to direction, Ctrl V, you can see. So these are the selection. I hope you can understand that how many selection do we have. We have marquee, elliptical selection tools. When you press M, and another tools that we use too much about is lasso tool. You mean you're free polygonal lasso tool. You can use anchor points, and magnetic you feel free and also use anchor points. Another selection tools that we have in here, it's about the quick selection tool. It will find the edges, the difference between the pixel cards, and magic wand tool will select just one color. It will select just one color. It won't select all the colors. So thank you for your watching. I hope you don't become bored. And next lesson also maybe we will have a project, inshallah.